Hello, good evening. This is your favorite business program, Business Live. I am Emmanuel Abuaji. Coming up, Imani Ghana says the business environment between 2011 and 2016 is portraying severe challenges affecting many businesses in the country. Chamber of Petroleum Consumers says its checks have revealed diesel prices have seen an increase of between 8 and 11% at the pumps, while petrol prices have moved up between 3 and 5%. Players in the securities industry renew calls for a widening of the tax base to grow the capital markets and benefit the economy. So details of these plus other stories coming your way shortly. The program is Business Live. You can always stay interactive with us by tweeting at JoyBusinessGH is our handle, and on Facebook you can send your comments. Joy Business, that's our page. For more business news, log on to myjoyonline.com/business. We're taking a short break. We'll be back.
Business Live today is brought to you by GCB Bank.
Thanks for staying. Welcome back. A business environment research report by policy think tank Imani Ghana has portrayed the country's business environment from 2011 to 2016 as a struggling one. The report cited cost of borrowing and high tax rates among the several factors accounting for these challenges businesses have gone through. Speaking to Joy Business, head of business at Imani Ghana, Abuaji Minta, was of the view the business environment will not be hit hard by the December elections. Sarah Josu has more in this report.
The report highlighted 5 key areas, including exchange rate volatility, high cost of borrowing, power supply, inflation and high tax rates as major challenges that burden companies. These, according to the head of business at Imani Ghana, Abuaji Minta, were as a result of this link between monetary and fiscal policies, among other factors.
Another problem we found out that there seemed to be this incoherence in monetary policy and fiscal policy. And that is a major problem. You cannot have a situation whereby the Bank of Ghana is, on the one hand, is working differently, seem to be reading a different set of notes. And the government, on the other hand, seem to be reading a different set of notes. You've had situations in the country where Bank of Ghana or certain ministers are literally convincing banks to reduce lending rates. Whilst, right on the other hand, government is also borrowing heavily and increasing treasury bills. So what you have is that if they can borrow, if they can lend easily to government, what happens? So that drives lending rates up. So that's another problem that we had, and we thought it was rather unfortunate, because you would assume that there will be a properly running economic management team, but it doesn't seem to be the case. And all of these factors have worked to create the mess that we find ourselves in.
He denied assertions that the upcoming elections impact on businesses owing to measures put in place by government so far to forestall such inconsistencies.
Every election impacts on the business environment. In the past, we've seen that the economics of an election year is typified by one-ton spending. We see now that this government is quite determined to ensure that it controls its spending. That's extremely commendable. What that means is that businesses, have some leeway to work properly, because when there's so much spending, inflation goes up and it creates more problems. And so that's commendable. We hope that it continues throughout the election, and then we can start working properly next year.
Mr. Abuaji Mensah advised government to endeavour to implement business policies to prevent drawbacks inimical to their sustenance.
That was Sarah Josu's report. Now, government has secured a significant interest from local investors in its maiden domestic dollar bond issue. It took almost $95 million from investors who were interested in the 2-year domestic dollar bond. According to a statement issued by the Finance Ministry, government will be paying an interest of 6%. It hopes to use proceeds of the bond to finance the sinking fund and retire some bonds that are maturing. Finance lecturer at the University of Ghana Business School, Dr. Lord Mensah, earlier on the marketplace, was happy the amount will yield positive results.
I'm not surprised that we're able to raise such quantum of money in this country, because we live in a country where people always want a safe haven for their money, and then the safe haven will be possibly looking at foreign currency, which they will keep their money in, and looking at the time that we find ourselves in at this time. Anybody who is investing would like to invest in a form of foreign currency, and if we should float, a dollar in our own environment, dollar-denominated bond in our own environment, there's a likelihood that you get investors developing an appetite for it, and I think that calls for it. But possibly we could have got, a lower coupon promise, but maybe as a result of the reasons that we gave for the, issue, that's why we had it to be 6%. I was expecting that we get somewhere 4.5% comparatively to other bonds that have been issued on the continent locally. We're getting into Christmas, and Ghana being an import-driven economy, we expect that more cedis will be converted to dollar. And then also we're getting into an election year, which businesses would like to keep their money in a stable currency that can be still stable in a conflict environment, which the dollar is the next option. And then also you've topped it up with the issue. So there's going to be pressure on the cedi. People will be forced to convert their cedi to satisfy the bond that has been issued, and then also to ensure that they convert that is businesses I'm talking about, to convert their cedi that they have to dollars, and then make sure that they get enough to import at the same time. So we should expect pressure on our cedi.
Now to the downstream petroleum sector. The amount of money used set aside for the purchase of various petroleum products is set to witness a significant jump this week. But it appears consumers might also have to brace themselves up for further increases at the pumps in the coming months. George Uafe tells us more.
The increase, according to Joy Business checks, is in line with the pickup of crude prices over the last few weeks. The price of the commodity has witnessed a significant jump over the past few days, and it is currently trading at around $50 a barrel. This follows news that the group of oil-producing and exporting countries, OPEC, are set to reduce the amount of crude they produce every day. Joy Business calculations show that crude will go up by some 3.35% per litre. Petrol will go up by almost 2% per litre. LPG will witness the biggest jump of 5% per litre. LPG will witness the biggest jump of 5% for a kilogram. The good news for consumers for now is that it is not all the over 70 oil marketing companies that might increase their prices, so they could attract more consumers to their various service stations. This will be because of the fact that the current deregulation policy allows every oil marketing company to set. However, the bad news is that with forecasts that the price of crude oil is set to be going up, then it's likely that consumers should be prepared to pay more at the pumps. This is because most of the oil marketing companies have told Joy Business that they are not willing to absorb the expected cost and that they will pass it on to consumers.
Now, meanwhile, the Chamber of Petroleum Consumers in its latest checks indicates diesel prices have seen an increase of between 8 and 11% at the pumps, while petrol prices have seen between 3 and 5% across many BDCs and OMCs. The sharp increases are attributed to world market price increases. Let's get on the phone lines now to speak to the Executive Secretary of the Chamber of Petroleum Consumers, Duncan Amwa, to get more from him. Good afternoon. Welcome to Business Live, Duncan.
Good afternoon, Emmanuel. Good afternoon to your viewers.
All right, so tell us, what have your checks revealed currently? What are the prices for petrol at the various pumps that you have visited or the various stations that you have visited? How much is it going?
But it is very interesting. as we speak, most electronic products at filling stations are down. And what is going on is that I believe most are rather expecting the changes that have come about as a result of world market figures going up sharply as we put out last week. Indeed, for what we gather from industry, petrol, which is PMS, is doing between 3 to 5% for most of the BDCs and OMCs across board. And you have diesel rather doing between 8 to 11% for this current window. So as we speak, I can confirm to you that Total has already released their figures, and they have reviewed from the 3.63 previous levels per liter to 3.750 current pump trading figures. So indeed, yes, prices have gone up if you check. But I'm sure the real impact or the real effect will be felt from the evening close to tomorrow morning.
All right, now, Duncan, what about the prices for gas, LPG? Have you confirmed the current prices now?
Unfortunately, we haven't been able to ascertain that for LPG immediately, but I'm sure by close of day tomorrow, that of LPG would also be known if there's been any adjustment whatsoever. But as we speak, most LPG MCs, marketing companies, are still dispensing at old figures. I haven't gotten any report yet with them that figures are going up as far as a kilogram of LPG is concerned. So for now, it looks more of petrol and diesel rather seeing the adjustment at the pumps. And that is, as I indicated, between 3 to 5 for petrol and then between 8 to 11% for diesel for most OMCs that we've interacted with today.
Now, Duncan, earlier when we spoke on the marketplace, you indicated that the key determinant for this particular increase is the global crude price rebound. Now, we have had some stability in the parity rate between the cedi and the dollar. Do you think that this current increase justifies the determinants that are causing these particular dynamics?
In fact, Emmanuel, it will be quite difficult at this point to even blame an OMC or a BDC, looking at the way the Ghanaian price build-up is actually fixed. I have indicated severally that because of some of the taxes on petroleum products, the moment world market indexes go up, it is going to have a direct impact on local pump prices. Again, I have stated severally that because of the 17.5 special petroleum tax or SPT, the moment fuel prices are, say, at $40, 17.5 or $40 will be much lower than 17.5 same or $50 or $70 or $100. You can equally understand or appreciate that if it is, say, $10 a barrel, and I'm paying 17.5 on the $10, together with excise duty and all other levies taxed already on it, and I'm paying 17.5 of all of that, you would appreciate that it will be much lower for the player or the OMC or BDC when it is the same 17.5 of, say, 50 or, say, 100. So as fuel prices continue to go up on the world market, the most immediate impact is that consumers in Ghana are going to be hugely overburdened, and for which we believe the government should not continue to sleep on our, consistent demand for taxes to actually be reduced or to review downwards immediately. In the absence of that, we are likely to get into more trouble in the coming days when OPEC firmly affirms the amount of cuts that they are going to impose on their members November 2nd.
All right, Duncan, finally, before you go, we have a component of a price stabilization levy in the price build-up. Do you think it is time now for government to actually use this particular, levy to cushion the impact that the increase is going to have on consumers?
In fact, Emmanuel, that's a very important issue. The price stabilization margin PSM, I believe, was put in there so as to be able to serve as a buffer for all of us in the in the unlikely event prices escalate or go beyond certain parameters. Unfortunately, we have maintained the price stabilization margin as though it is also a revenue figure for government. Unfortunately, when prices are going up, one would have said the price stabilization margin figures to reduce or come down. Unfortunately, they are stagnated at between 10 and 12% a litre. And so government is receiving all those monies, and you end up asking what they are using those monies for while world prices are going up. If they couldn't even push in any funds because of deregulation, and they decided to go down on the PSM, I'm quite sure most of the OMCs would have been able to absorb the global, hike in crude prices. Unfortunately, we are not seeing that being used or utilized. So the PSM has become more of a revenue for government than it should serve the consumer in the country, and it's very, very unjust and unfair.
All right, thank you very much, Duncan Amwa. Duncan Amwa is Executive Secretary of the Chamber of Petroleum Consumers, who is confirming currently that prices of diesel have gone up between 8 and 11% at the pumps, while petrol prices have also seen an increase of between 3 and 5% across the various BDCs and oil marketing companies. We'll update you on these situations as and when they come to us. Welcome back. Now, one way to be competitive in the current business environment is optimizing new ways of marketing to reach out to the target market by infusing sustainable policies aimed at creating a future for consumers or for customers. That's according to the Managing Director of Unilever and 2015 CIMG Marketing Woman of the Year, Mehdi Akutu, in a chat with Joy Business. Let's get excerpts of that.
The concept of continuous improvement is not just in our factories, but it's in our way of working as an organization. So indeed, it's about growing the company profitably. It's about really at the core of what Unilever is about these days is creating a brighter future for our consumers. Okay, we really through everything that we do, and that is why we now have infused what others call CSR. We now call the Unilever Sustainable Living Plan, and it's part and parcel of how we do business. We no longer do business and then take a portion of the profits to go and help or contribute to society. We actually contribute to society in how we do the business. So that is a journey that we're on, and we continue to strive in that direction.
But how are you hoping to achieve this?
Absolutely. So some of it is, for example, as we said, through our brands, educating consumers and children about hygiene, providing a range of products that are relevant for consumers to ensure that they are healthy and get the best out of life, and running our factories in an environmentally friendly manner. Okay. So that's the journey we've started on, and we'll continue in that regard.
Great.
For me personally, many people say, what happens after you become the managing director of an organization? I do work for a multinational, and so there are many more steps in the ladder, in terms of roles like managing multiple countries, for example, and as executive vice president, it goes higher. So I continue on my career journey with Unilever.
How do you see marketing in Ghana, the Ghana's marketing industry? How do you describe it?
Well, in the last few years, you can see how marketing has permeated different aspects of the country, and different in the past. For example, some of the small organizations didn't used to market their brands, but now SMEs are marketing, even if it's a radio ad, even if it's a press ad, even if it's a word of mouth. So I think marketing has come of age in Ghana, where people no longer, and organizations no longer need to be convinced of the benefits of marketing. I think that job has been done, and it's really about optimizing now how we market and the return on investment for our marketing dollars or cedis.
Many thanks for joining me on this evening's edition of Business Live. It's been great having you on board, and hope You join me again, same time tomorrow for more interesting developments in the world of business. Meantime, you can get interactive with us by tweeting your comments and your questions at Joy Business GH Facebook. Joy Business is our page. And for more business news online, you can also log on to myjoyonline.com/business. My name is Emmanuel Abuaji Wiafi. Thank you so much once again, and good evening.